Have you ever wondered why certain negative patterns keep repeating in your life? Imagine a shadowy realm where we've made agreements, maybe in past lives or on an unconscious level, that have a lasting impact on our present lives. Welcome to the intriguing world of dark contracts. In the uncharted territories of our subconscious mind, we might have struck deals that are not in our best interest. These contracts, often made unknowingly, can have a profound effect on our lives. They are not tangible signed documents, but rather, they are binding agreements made within the deep recesses of our mind and soul. Picture this. You're desperate for something, perhaps a sense of security, acceptance, or love. In a moment of vulnerability, you make a promise to the universe. You might agree to give up some of your life energy or power in exchange for the fulfillment of these desires. This, in essence, is a dark contract. But here's the catch. These contracts may have been made in a past life, or at a level of consciousness that our present self cannot easily access. They might be the hidden culprits behind recurring negative situations or psychological problems we face in our lives. Ever found yourself stuck in a rut, facing the same challenges over and over again, no matter how hard you try to break free? Maybe you've experienced patterns of self-sabotage, destructive relationships, or inexplicable fears. These could very well be the manifestations of dark contracts we've made. Now, I know this sounds eerie, even a bit outlandish. But consider this. What if there was a way to identify and dissolve these destructive contracts? A way to free ourselves from their influence and solve those underlying problems that seem to persist stubbornly. This is where the fascinating practice of regression therapy comes into play. As we delve deeper into this captivating concept, remember, it's not about blaming ourselves for these past agreements, rather it's about understanding their role in our lives and learning how to break free from them. Could it be that these dark contracts are the root of some of your most persistent challenges? Imagine promising to surrender some of your life energy or power in exchange for the fulfillment of certain desires. A chilling thought, isn't it? Yet, according to the theory of clearing dark contracts, this is precisely what might be happening on an unconscious level. Let's delve deeper into the concept of these dark contracts. Picture them as unseen agreements, forged in the hidden corners of your mind, or perhaps in past incarnations. These contracts might sound like an enticing bargain at first. You might promise to surrender a portion of your personal power in exchange for success in your career, or pledge some of your life energy for a shot at love. The terms of these deals are as varied as our individual desires and fears. However, the repercussions can be severe. You might find yourself inexplicably drained, constantly fatigued, despite maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Or perhaps you're perpetually stuck in a cycle of self-sabotage, unable to break free from patterns that hinder your progress. These are potential signs that you've entered into a dark contract. These contracts can also manifest in the form of recurring negative situations or relationships. You may find yourself repeatedly drawn to toxic individuals or stuck in unsatisfying jobs, seemingly against your will. It's as if an unseen force is pulling you back each time you attempt to move forward. The most insidious aspect of these dark contracts is their invisibility. They operate in the shadows of our consciousness, subtly influencing our actions and decisions. Because of this, we often attribute our struggles to external circumstances or personal shortcomings, failing to recognize the true underlying cause. In a world where we value personal freedom, the idea of being unknowingly bound by these invisible contracts can be unsettling. It's like walking with invisible chains, constantly pulling you back, preventing you from reaching your full potential. But here's the silver lining. Recognition is the first step towards liberation. By acknowledging the existence of these contracts, we can start the journey towards dissolving them, regaining our lost power, and reclaiming control over our lives. These invisible chains could be holding you back without you even realizing it. The question is, are you ready to break free? But what if we could identify and dissolve these destructive contracts? This is where regression therapy comes into play. It's a fascinating form of therapy that invites us to journey back into our past states of consciousness, allowing us to relive key moments in our life or even past lives, according to some therapists. The premise of regression therapy is that our unconscious mind holds the keys to understanding and resolving many of our current struggles. This includes the dark contracts we've been exploring, those self-sabotaging agreements made in past lives or on an unconscious level that continue to affect us in the present. Imagine for a moment that our mind is like an iceberg. What we see above the water's surface represents our conscious mind, our current awareness, but beneath that surface lies a vast expanse of our unconscious mind, a treasure trove of experiences, memories, and yes, possibly even dark contracts. Regression therapy plunges into these depths, navigating through the murky waters of our unconscious to bring light to areas that have remained hidden and unexplored. But what does this journey entail? Regression therapy involves a trained psychologist guiding you through a state of deep relaxation. In this tranquil state, you're able to access past states of consciousness, reliving key moments tied to your present struggles. The objective is to identify any destructive contracts that may be lurking in your past and to dissolve them, freeing you from their influence and solving hidden underlying problems. It's like being given a map to the labyrinth of your mind, offering a route to navigate through the complex maze of your unconscious. You're not alone in this journey. The psychologist is with you every step of the way, helping to illuminate the path and provide the tools to dissolve these dark contracts. And the potential benefits? They're immense. Imagine living a life free from the shackles of past agreements that no longer serve you. Imagine stepping into a future where you're no longer held back by unconscious contracts. A life where you're free to live to your fullest potential. Regression therapy could be the key to unlocking your fullest potential. With these insights, we invite you to explore the depths of your mind and discover what lies beneath the surface. You might be wondering, how does regression therapy work? Indeed, it's a fascinating process that involves a series of steps, each designed to peel back the layers of the subconscious and shed light on those shadowy corners of the psyche. The first stage of regression therapy involves building trust and rapport between the client and the therapist. This is vital as the process can be intense, often requiring the client to delve into areas of the mind that may be uncomfortable or even distressing. Once a solid therapeutic relationship is established, the therapist will guide the client into a deeply relaxed state. This is often achieved through a combination of guided imagery and progressive muscle relaxation techniques. The goal here is to quiet the conscious mind and allow access to the subconscious. Now, the real journey begins. The therapist will guide the client back in time, revisiting past memories, experiences, or even past lives if you subscribe to that belief. This is not a random walk down memory lane though. The therapist will direct the client to focus on specific events or periods that may be linked to their current issues. During this exploration, the client may uncover what we refer to as dark contracts. These are unconscious agreements often made under duress or in moments of intense emotion, which may be contributing to current problems. For example, a person might have unconsciously agreed to give up personal power in exchange for safety during a traumatic event. Once these dark contracts are brought to light, the therapist helps the client to disengage from them. This could involve a symbolic act of tearing the contract, affirming one's autonomy, or renegotiating the terms to be more beneficial. It's important to note that the process is not about erasing the past, but rather about understanding and reframing it. It's about releasing the grip of unhealthy patterns and making room for healing and growth. And that, in a nutshell, is the process of regression therapy. It's a journey into the past to shape a better future. So, what could you expect after a session of regression therapy? Well, the potential rewards are as diverse as the individuals who undergo the process. However, common threads often weave together the tapestry of benefits experienced. Personal growth is a key outcome. By revisiting and revising these so-called dark contracts, you're not just erasing a negative agreement, you're also learning about yourself, your patterns, your fears, and your desires. This understanding can be a powerful tool for change, driving you towards healthier decisions and relationships. Next, imagine the freedom that comes from shedding the weight of past burdens. These unconscious contracts can often feel like a heavy chain, binding us to negative patterns and situations. By identifying and dissolving these contracts through regression therapy, you're essentially breaking these chains. The result? A newfound sense of freedom, an unburdened spirit ready to embrace life without the shadows of the past. Now let's talk about improved life situations. It's no secret that our inner world shapes our outer reality. If we're unconsciously bound by destructive contracts, it's likely that our life situations reflect this. Perhaps you've noticed recurring themes of powerlessness, unfulfillment, or even self-sabotage in your life. Regression therapy can help illuminate the root of these issues, paving the way for transformative changes in your personal, professional, and emotional life. Of course, it's important to remember that this process isn't a magic wand. It requires commitment, courage, and openness. But the potential outcomes, they're worth the journey. Remember, regression therapy isn't about dwelling in the past, but using the past as a catalyst for a brighter, healthier future. It's about rewriting your narrative, reclaiming your power, and reshaping your life. And with every cleared contract and every healed wound, you're not just improving your present. You're also setting the stage for a more fulfilling, enriching future. Imagine a life free from the weight of destructive contracts. That's the potential of regression therapy, and that could be your reality. As fascinating as regression therapy and dark contracts are, it's important to consider all aspects. Indeed, the theory of clearing dark contracts through regression therapy is not without its critics. Some skeptics question the very existence of past lives, making the idea of unconscious contracts formed in them seem far-fetched. Others argue that the concept may be too simplistic, reducing the complexity of human psychology to mere contracts and transactions. Furthermore, there are practical concerns to consider. Regression therapy, like any other form of therapy, requires a highly skilled practitioner. An inexperienced or unqualified therapist could potentially cause more harm than good. The journey into one's past states of consciousness is delicate and demands a professional who can navigate these murky waters with utmost care. Also, the process of identifying and dissolving destructive contracts is not always straightforward. It can be a lengthy and emotionally taxing process. The client may need to confront painful memories or experiences, which can be difficult and distressing. Hence, it's crucial to ensure that the client is prepared and willing to undertake this journey. The concept of dark contracts also raises ethical considerations. If we believe we've made a deal detrimental to our well-being, whether in a past life or unconsciously, it can lead to feelings of guilt or self-blame. It's essential to remember that these so-called contracts are not cast in stone. They are not an unavoidable destiny, but rather, they represent patterns that we can choose to change. Moreover, it's worth mentioning that regression therapy and the idea of clearing dark contracts are not a panacea. They are tools that can be used in conjunction with other therapeutic approaches. They should not replace traditional methods but rather enhance them, providing a deeper understanding of oneself and one's actions. As with any journey, the path to self-discovery requires careful consideration and thought. It's about weighing the potential benefits against the possible pitfalls, understanding the commitment involved, and most importantly, choosing a path that resonates with you. Remember, the goal is not to rewrite the past, but to better understand it, learn from it, and use that knowledge to shape a more positive and fulfilling future. In our quest to understand the mysteries of our minds, we've delved into dark contracts and regression therapy. Let's take a moment to reflect on this fascinating journey. We started by exploring the captivating concept of dark contracts. These are unconscious agreements we might have made in past lives or on a deeper, unconscious level, which are now influencing our present life in potentially destructive ways. We learned that these contracts could be the root of certain psychological problems or enduring negative situations. The allure of fulfilled desires might have led us into promising away our life energy or power, and now we're facing the consequences. Then, we ventured into the world of regression therapy. This therapeutic approach involves returning to past states of consciousness, reliving key moments, and dissolving those dark contracts. By doing so, the theory suggests, we can free ourselves from their influence, solving underlying problems that might have been hidden from our conscious awareness. We also elaborated on the process of regression therapy. It's not a magic wand, nor a quick fix. It's a journey of self-discovery that requires courage, patience, and a competent guide in the form of a practicing psychologist. Yet the potential of regression therapy is immense. It promises a path to liberation from the chains of unconscious agreements, a chance to reclaim our life energy, and the opportunity to steer our lives in a direction of our choosing. But, as with any journey, there are considerations to bear in mind. It's crucial to approach regression therapy with an open mind, yet also a healthy dose of skepticism. It's vital to remember that the theory of dark contracts and regression therapy is just that, a theory. It's one of many tools available in our psychological toolbox. Whether or not you choose to explore regression therapy, remember, the power to change your life resides within you.